Supersonic collision. Untamed world of chaos and
Professor Gerald, the truth about 15 years ago.
Babe, wake up! A brand new Frontiers trailer just dropped from Japan, and it's 30 seconds long, so it's not as full as the Gamescom one, but there's definitely a lot of goodies in it. We get to see some glimpses of some biomes that we haven't seen yet, and also it's absolutely gorgeous. We even get to hear a bit of the new main theme with its vocals. We almost didn't see this, but a single dedicated ranger was able to screen record seeing this from a Japanese TV live stream. And what a legend. So let's go play the trailer and then analyze it and go through all the missed details and quote unquote Easter eggs, as there actually is some cool new things we haven't seen before. And some of these are like millisecond in between frames, so you'd have to frame perfect stop. I'm also going to provide a translation for the spoken and on-screen text, as again, it is from Japan. This is not the full Gamescom trailer or demo, as we're getting that August 23rd, and I'm so hyped to cover that too. So, do the subscribe thing, double check, as a common bug is unsubbing people, and also do the bell thing, so you actually see my uploads. All on, please, please. So let's quickly play the intro, then go straight into the trailer afterwards.
You're amazing.
止まらない。困難が行く手を阻んでも止まらない。強大な敵が立ちはだかろうとも止まらない。足を前に進ませるものは何？止まらない。なぜあなたは止まらないの？縦横無尽な新境地アクションアドベンチャーソニックフロンティア。
And now, let's get into the gritty of it and analyze the trailer and all the new info we got. So the trailer starts with Sonic running through the forest section with some artistic camera angles. The voiceover translates to, "You never stop. No matter how dire things may seem, you never stop. No matter how big the threat you're facing is, you never stop. Why? Why do you keep going?" And the translation was by this Twitter user. The voice is allegedly Sage, as I've heard many people saying that, but personally I don't know Sage's Japanese voice actress well enough to confirm that. However, while the rest of the trailer might seem pretty straightforward and clean cut, there's actually a lot of little goodies for us to go over and discuss. So to break it down, here we see the Asura boss again, with a new game element in the background as Sonic runs by. It's a gray base with 2 halo rings around it. We have no clue what this could be used for still, but let's move on from that as it's pretty small. We see this kind of funny looking wonky animation of Sonic jumping midair and switching sides while standing, and this seems kind of un-Sonic, as wouldn't it make more sense for Sonic to curl into a ball in between switching sides? Like he does that when he homing attacks a second prior. So it leaves this looking a bit uncanny, but not a huge deal in any way. But next we finally see some more night gameplay, and we see this massive moon Sonic's running towards that, combined with the dark and smoky clouds around it, give this cool old school gothic like vampire vibe. Something I'm excited to see. I also wonder if there's going to be some story or certain game elements tied to specific times or weather, meaning you do a certain event, the weather changes to set the correct tone. Or maybe it's just on a cycle, and it is what it is in the moment.
It is what it is.
Next, we see Sonic running around the main open zone area. But if you pause, you see something new, which is all these aligned and spaced out pillars in this massive field. It looks almost like a sci-fi cemetery. And while that might initially come off as odd to put something like that here, you know, like in a Sonic game, but keep in mind, there were also graves all over SA2 that you actually dug up as Knuckles. And even there, he would like pull out a skull sometimes. So this isn't something that's too far to touch with Sonic. Also, in all fairness, I don't actually think it's a cemetery, as it's probably just nothing set dressing, but it definitely looks like a cemetery for sure. And next is one of my favorite things from this very short trailer. There's these side shots of Sonic running, and we see a bunch of different quick cuts of different biomes. Some of the quick cuts even being like 1 or 2 milliseconds long, but only a couple of them, I don't know why. First, we see the water lily pad area that we've seen before, but we see these new rock platforms in the background, and they look like they're housing some collectibles for whoever platforms all the way to the top of the big main rock pillar. We then see Sonic running downhill with this gorgeous sunset over the ocean in the background. We haven't seen much of it yet, but presumably this is right next to the beach part of the island that they've only talked about before. The next shot you certainly missed, as it's one of the millisecond in-between shots, but there's this massive canyon-styled arch over Sonic as he's running across Eggman's platforms in the foggy rain. And I call it Eggman's platforms, as we've previously seen his logo on some of the platforms, as well as this similarly branded pod that we know Sonic can go up to and interact with in the game, but we still don't know what the purpose of it is yet either. Then we see Sonic running in a different style of night as before. It's a bit less dark and more blue, showing this day and night cycle looks like it actually has a bit of nuance in it. It's not just like, it's day now, it's sunset now, it's night. It seems like there's actually like a bunch of in-betweens as well. It's not raining here, and this is the first time we've seen any night section without weather effects since we got the empty, no Sonic level fly-through. And this area we're seeing is also one we've never seen before, granted, entirely empty. Also, I wanted to take a quick pause to quickly bring up that there were seemingly no pop-ins with this, at least from what I saw, as, you know, it's only 30 seconds, and we'll find out from the demo at Gamescom, and hopefully they don't come out and be like, it's actually an old build, because that was really frustrating with Sonic Colors Ultimate. However, the pop-ins or load-ins have seemingly been fixed, and that seems to be people's biggest issues, so while it's not confirmed to be the case, if it's the case, it might actually save this game. So back to the trailer. Next we see Sonic actually running on water, and this isn't like the little splashy lily pond area. He's running on water, like our heavenly daddy, and he's coming straight at your perspective to launch a surprise attack when you least expect it. You thought you were safe watching this Frontiers trailer? Not if Sonic has anything to say about it. And next, and this is pretty important unless you speak Japanese, but some Japanese text appears on screen. It translates to, if you don't keep running, you won't get that feeling. Which is, you know, not a 100% guaranteed, like perfect translation, as it can be interpreted in multiple ways. That's just how interpreting Japanese works. But it is the idea and meaning behind it. And a big thanks to Chinchilla, who personally translated this for me, as I've only been seeing translations for the voiceover part. So thank you, fellow creature friend. And this is by far the best part. We hear the main theme, which we've heard a bit of the instrumental previously in the Nintendo Switch trailer. However, we hear a new little clip of the full one with vocals and everything, and it really adds validity to the rumors and alleged leaks I've been seeing of who the vocal they went with actually is. So let's play just the part where the vocals are, so you can get a refresh in comparison before I go into who I'm like 75% certain it is now, based on these leaks.
縦横無尽な新境地アクションアドベンチャーソニックフロンティア
And I wanted to pop in and add the lyrics are, I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. And this is ironic because of the next part, but this was posted by Emmy Jones, who added the lyrics are a bit cheesy, and I kind of agree. I know they have to add the word frontiers in it, but it still feels very forced, especially rhyming here with frontiers. Just genius. What's next? He's gonna cry some tears. His frontier tears. So well-known and beloved grifter Zippo dropped a leak a while back on how a big YouTube musician is going to do the main theme. And I don't know why, but when I read it, my mind went immediately to Emmy Jones, as I thought she would fit the soft melody vibes mixed with hard rock that they were going for. But then I talked with someone close to Zippo, who I'm friends with, and I was given the knowledge that it's, drumroll, Natewantstobattle. Now, I haven't mentioned this before, one, because we haven't even heard the vocals yet, so it could just be blatantly wrong. And also, Zippo has been known to be, a bit of a capper recently. And while he has some legit ins and people he's getting info from, he's either knowingly or unknowingly reporting a bunch of info that comes out to not be true. So my faith is low in his leaks now, as there is literally no standard for quality. But then, after hearing this, I'm like, oh, this sounds like Natewantstobattle. Or, maybe some similar higher range rock vocalist. Maybe it's Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens. And I'm not personally a huge Natewantstobattle fan. I don't really dislike him, but I have admittedly only heard a few songs of his, and I think his Sonic Forces cover is like nails on a chalkboard. But in edit, I quickly wanted to add this in, and no raccoon PNGs for this little add-in, because I just want to quickly say this. But a lot of people online are saying they actually think this is Vic Fuentes, the lead singer of Pierce the Veil. Now, I am a huge Pierce the Veil fan, so this would be like a dream come true to me. Like, I hope more than anyone that Zippo's wrong, don't get me wrong. But I actually think he might be right. And I know Natewantstobattle sounds totally different in his Forces cover, but again, that was 5 years ago. A lot can change in someone's performance in 5 years. Also, Pierce the Veil hasn't made music in quite a long time. About 5 years, actually. But I don't want to shut it down entirely, as there's no proof it isn't them. Or maybe it's just featuring their lead singer. But man, I would be so hyped if this turned out to be Pierce the Veil, as they're like one of my favorite bands when I was growing up. And I thought I would add it in here because I actually mentioned Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens, which is like the sister band to Pierce the Veil. So, funny coincidence. Maybe he has some like really good other stuff. This is gonna sound ultra normie, but I was secretly hoping we got a Bring Me the Horizon song. And while that might sound, a bit odd, as they're traditionally not commercial, but recently they have been. They had a song for both the new Forza and the new Gran Turismo, working on both sides, as well as a bunch of other really cool commercial opportunities. And the lead singer, Oliver Sykes, had previously done a very popular Sonic collab with his clothing brand, Drop, word for not being alive? But it appears my prayers were not met. How sad. F's in the chat, boys. So really soon, I'm going to be dropping an over hour and a half long video on Sonic Omens, its controversy, and covering every angle and aspect of what's really going on, as I'm hearing so many blatantly false and untrue things said about it and its team. And also, only one side of things is being reported. And while I'm going to be neutral and objective, things are not what they seem with the stock that dropped and all the hate around this project. And while there are certainly some valid criticisms for sure, most of what I'm seeing is almost entirely just untrue. And people might think it's true, and that's why I'm making this video. Especially considering Sonic Omens is all around the best and most polished fan game to ever release. And that's not like just my opinion. That's a factual claim based on evidence. Like, it's objectively the best. Overall, it's a very divisive topic, and with a video that long, I clearly have a lot to say on it. However, and this is going to sound rude, but it's true, but I don't really care to hear anyone's opinion on Omens until they get to watch that video, as that's pretty necessary context. So I'm not talking about it until this supermassive video comes out, as I've been putting endless amounts of time into it, making it super well edited and produced throughout its entire duration. Maybe more care and fully produced than ever before. So don't miss it when it drops. Go double check your subbed, and definitely make sure your bell is set to all notifications so you don't miss any huge Sonic news from the world's fourth most beloved raccoon. Oh, and also #1 source of Sonic news, that too. And potentially Giga Chad? Maybe one day on that one. Go follow my Twitter @Sonic_show and follow my new TikTok @SonicShow. No underscore, no the. Just don't call me the acronym of that. And I'll see you all in the next couple days with the big video. Lots of love and peace. Peace!
Going ghost, I got e-girls on my boots. Going ghost, I got e-girls on my boots. Goth girls clinging to my boots. Goth girls clinging to my boots. Raccoon Nation, yeah, we looking cute.